The issue with the death penalty is whether or not the government should be allowed to do that, given that they have an incentive in a lot of cases to try and lock people up who are innocent.
You're weighing the lesser harm here, and you're basically siding with the criminals over the family. That's why.
No, it's okay. I would rather get put to death than sit in fucking prison for 40 years.
Angled Elevation for 10 Canadian says, in my opinion, they blew up this fake, quote, terrorist actor to further the idea that they can just, quote, end anyone they declare a terrorist. Plus, a terrorist to them is anyone who doesn't buy into their fake news. Wait, are you telling the guy that we blew up a fake terrorist? You're calling someone else a fake terrorist. This is
the thing. This is the thing too, because Doomer earlier said this is why I'm against the death penalty, and I mean I don't like that. I understand that the government does get it wrong someplace, but the whole point of things like the death penalty and wiping out terrorists is you do it when you're 100% sure that's the guy and they have it coming. So you don't want to take that tool out of your toolbox.
The government can't be 100% sure, and in fact, there's an incentive.
Yeah, they
pretty strong incentive. No, they don't. Adam, you're wrong. This is not how this. There's something called the Innocence Project for a reason. I mean, like
right, but they're exonerating people using DNA, and nowadays, this came up with Kyle Kalinske too. He said he read some study like back in the 80s that showed 4% of people in prison were in there wrongfully. But as we improve our criminal justice system, obviously we're going to send that down to zero. And there are people.
The incentive for prosecutors is not to find the truth.
Well, I agree with you there, but the incentive for juries is to find the truth.
Okay, I don't trust juries that much. Okay?
Well, juries
are a bunch of people like chat.
Juries more than ever now are hesitant to convict without DNA evidence for the exact reason that you're talking about. They do not want to see an innocent person in jail or to be executed. And this is why they have so many appeals during the execution process. But there are people, I mean, they got overwhelming evidence that these people have done terrible, terrible things. Why would you take the ability for the family to sleep at night away from them just because?
I mean, okay, the family can sleep at night if they're in prison for life.
No, they don't. Listen, they don't. They're thinking about their loved one who was brutally murdered by this asshole who is getting 3 square meals a day and doing nothing.
Okay, we're going to describe prison as getting 3 square meals a day, like having a jolly old time.
Well, think of the family though. The family's like, you know, my wife or kids have been brutally murdered, and this guy could get out anytime.
Is this an argument? It's like, oh, what about the emotions of the family? It's not an argument.
It is an argument. The whole purpose of the criminal justice system is to give justice to the aggrieved party.
The purpose of the prosecution is to lock people up.
To give justice to the aggrieved party.
People can feel like they got justice when they didn't. The emotions that like the victims' families feel does not mean that justice was actually done.
I agree. Yes.
They probably very often do feel, so fuck the fucking feelings of the victim's family. What does that have to do with anything? They can feel as though they were justified
harsh.
When I mean, I'm sorry, why would that be the thing to maximize?
Well, just in certain cases, and there are cases like this where there's no mystery who did it, right? And they're brutal, heinous acts. I don't know why you would take the death penalty off the table. I mean, you yourself said the only thing that you're worried about is that you're going to kill an innocent man, which everyone should worry about. But if the people are not innocent, and it will help the family sleep at night because their daughter or son was brutally killed, I don't see why you wouldn't do that.
In a weird situation, like there was a mass shooting and they're apprehended on the scene, and you have security cameras and 50 witnesses, like, okay, fine.
Okay, so
Like,
then you
but-
aren't against the death penalty then.
I mean, as a matter of policy, I am. Like the policy is never going to be, okay, we could have the death penalty in exactly these circumstances where, like, we're sure. You're never really sure. How are you going to write this into law that it's like, okay, well, we can have the death penalty, like,
Listen, you've made the perfect
Okay,
example.
if-
What about
if-
the
if
Charleston
Adam-
shooter, the guy that walked into the church and gunned down like all those parishioners? Like, that guy doesn't deserve the death penalty. If anybody does, that guy does.
okay, legislation is not about what people deserve. I mean, if someone is fucking
all
kids,
legislation is. Yeah, exactly.
I have the best death penalty take.
Okay, let's hear it.
great, let's hear it.
You know what it is? It's no crime should merit the death penalty. Death penalty should be if you're in jail and you keep causing trouble in jail, then you get the death penalty.
I mean, the whole purpose is to give justice to the aggrieved parties, and
That is not
not the
the
whole
why
justice system.
Doomer, why do you think they have the families speak at the sentencing phase of the trial?
Why do they watch the person die?
Yes. Why do they go to the actual execution, Doomer? Why do you think they do that?
Adam, you realize that I worked as a criminal justice researcher for 3 years. I'm just telling you factually that is not why
Look
the
at
justice
this.
system is set up the way that it
Look
is.
at this. And then he's
I'm sorry to
and then
point
he's
out,
like
you're just
appeal to authority.
Oh my god!
I'm sorry, I didn't realize that criminal justice researchers were the be all and end all.
Disparaging this.
Were the be
Wow.
all and end all to how morality works.
Who said anything about morality? We're not talking about morality. The death penalty is a matter of, like, criminal justice policy. I specifically said it's got nothing to do with morality.
Why do you think the
I
policy?
don't have a problem with killing people. If I walk around someone fucking my daughter, I'm killing them. I don't care.
Listen,
That's not the issue.
Doomer, if aggrieved families weren't desirous of having the people who took their loved ones away from them executed, do you think the policy would be what it is? Of course it wouldn't be, because it'd be like, oh, nobody cares.
The purpose of legislation is not, like,
What is the purpose
feelings
of
of the
legislation?
victims' families is not okay. I mean, if you want the true black pill answer, the purpose of legislation is to try and ensure public safety, because if public safety isn't ensured, it looks bad for the state and it causes problems. I mean, that's it's basically all about public safety and maximizing public safety and
Right.
maximizing, like, the view of the state. That's the reason that things are set up the way that they're set up.
And treating people fairly obviously maximizes public safety.
I mean, well, I'm okay. If we agree that that's what they're maximizing, then they're not maximizing for the victims' families' emotions. I mean, like, that's a consideration at some points in the process, but it's not the driving force behind criminal justice legislation.
Well, I mean, what is the so you think the driving force behind criminal justice legislation is just so the government can keep criminals off the street? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, it's mostly to ensure public safety. I mean, that's the
Well, then why
biggest thing.
executing them would make that even easier? Why keep them in jail where they can just cause a bunch of trouble?
Well, again, another thing you care about is, I mean, dealing out justice fairly. That's another consideration. And, like, the big problem with the death penalty is, like, if people are alive, then they can continue to argue their case. If fucking, you kill someone and find out they're innocent, it's a big fucking problem. Also, I mean, again, if you want a really, really
hold on.
a really, really black-pilled fucking,
What is the problem?
mathematical answer, if you
Who's the aggrieved party?
send someone innocent to prison, most of the time it ends up costing the state a fuckload of money if they can prove their innocence.
Yeah, who is the aggrieved party there?
Where?
When you send an innocent person to prison, who is the
That
aggrieved
person.
party? Yeah, there's other aggrieved parties. So obviously the family members are probably pretty chapped. You send my son or daughter to jail and they're innocent, I'm going to be pretty pissed.
I just don't. Okay, so you think the family is more important than the person who's wrongfully put in prison?
Well, it depends upon the situation. Obviously,
No,
in a
it
murder-
doesn't.
In a murder situation, the family is the aggrieved party.
I mean, I'm so confused by. I don't.
I
even
don't
know
understand what
we're
you're
talking
saying
about
either. But
If someone murders somebody,
yes,
and obviously they themselves are the aggrieved party, but if there's no family of the person
all
that
right.
is
You know, to be
murdered,
clear, you did not say that the considerations of the victim's family is more important than the innocence of the accused person.
no, I never said that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm just making that clear.
Yeah, but
Doomer tried to mop and bucket you, so
I do.
I didn't try to mop his
I know. I'm
bucket.
just kidding.
I mean, I don't understand how you can. All of
Can
these
we move on?
criminal
Just-
trials, it's like the family speaks at the sentencing phase
Yeah.
because the family shows up at the parole hearings because all consideration is aimed towards the family. But Doomer is sitting here saying, "Adam, I've done 3 years of criminal justice research, and the family doesn't come into consideration at all."
I didn't say that. You're saying that this is like the main thing that they care about is the fucking feelings of the victims' families. That's not true. I don't know
First of
what to
all,
tell
when
you.
you
That is
say they, who are you talking about?
You know
okay,
them.
you could be talking about lawyers. You could be talking about people in like people that are working in corrections, people that
The
are
ants.
working in like the police department. There's so many like different people that you could talk about.
Well,
None of them-
obviously, you're pointing to all the people who don't care. But you're doing that just to make your argument. There are plenty of people who do care, like the family. The judge obviously cares about the family.
Adam, I was just
considerably.
naming the different parts of the criminal justice system. I can tell you what each of these people care about, and like the feelings of the families of the victim is not the first
Right.
priority of any of them.
I find it super hard to believe that the district attorney is like
You think the
Doesn't-
district
doesn't
attorney
care
cares
about
more about the
victims'
the-
families. Well, there are district attorneys that don't care about victims' families, and that's why they get booted out of office because they don't give a fuck.
They need to appear as though they do, but that is that is not their primary concern.
Right.
Their primary concern is to win cases.
Yeah, no, I can be cynical about it too. Sure. But this all began with you talking about how you're against the death penalty.
I mean, yeah. This is the most common objection to the death penalty is just that like the government can fuck it up, so let them rot in prison, and like they can have time to prove their innocence.
That is true.
Yeah, but
I
I don't like that argument though.
I think they should just do what I said. That's all that matters. Kill them when they act up. The death penalty should be a disincentive for people to fuck around in prison.
I mean, you don't have to worry about any of that if you just
If you just
capital
what?
punishment. I'm telling you.
For everybody?
Well, no, for heinous crimes where we
Yeah,
have
but there's lots of
overwhelming
people that do
evidence.
fucked up shit in prison that are not in there for capital crimes.
No, I understand that.
Right.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But the death penalty should be reserved for heinous shit that we have overwhelming evidence that the person is guilty.
Okay.
And to say, I'm against the death penalty is just kind of lame.
Are you saying that Doomer is a soy beta cook?
Well, it's just there are certain crimes that are just, I mean, I don't know. Like he's basically blowing off the families wanting,
Okay, can you explain to me how the policy would actually be written? How would you qualify when the death penalty
Can we not-
can be
can we
actually
move
dished
on?
out?
let's move
Please.
on. Yeah.
Okay.
Can I ask Doomer one question?
Don't ask for permission. That's beta. Just ask it.
Well,
It's your show.
I feel bad for Sitch because I keep going off.
Don't
on
feel
it, but
fuck. Sitch is an asshole. Fuck Sitch.
Doomer, like if somebody like raped and killed your mom, you would not want that person to fucking die.
Of course he does. That's not that's not what's being talked about.
Whether or not I want the person to die isn't the issue. The whole issue is that I would want them to die without like actually having good enough information to know that they did it. That's why you don't allow the government to
But
do it.
look, I've
That's the
already
whole point.
I've already taken all of that out of the hypothetical. Like, you saw them do it. You know that they
I
did it.
already told you. If
You
I walk in on
apprehended
someone,
them before they left the scene.
Okay, I've already said this. If I have a 6-year-old daughter and I walk in on someone fucking them, I'm killing them. I don't
Right.
care.
Yes.
That's not the issue. The issue with the death penalty is whether or not the government should be allowed to do that, given that they have an incentive in a lot of cases to try and lock people up who are innocent.
Yes,
or
but
just given that they fuck up and make mistakes sometimes. I mean,
this is the same. I mean, this is the same thing as the trans debate. You're weighing the lesser harm here, and you're basically siding with the criminals over the family. That's why.
No, it's okay. I would rather get put to death than sit in fucking prison for 40 years. I don't know why. Like, oh, they're just gonna be sitting in there with a fucking, with their legs up, with getting 3 fucking square meals. Prison sucks. I've been in prison. I don't know if anyone else has.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, Doomer of
Because I was a criminal
TMI.
justice researcher. I had to go to prisons and study what it's like to be in prison.
whole.
I was working in the prison system.
So this is different than you went to prison. Okay, obviously.
No, I said I've been in prisons. I know what prisons are
You
like.
said I've been to prison.
I said I've been in prisons.
Okay. You made
I'll
it
allow
seem. Yeah, you made it seem like you'd gone to, like you were in the.
Okay, I clarified. Are we gonna be hung up on this?
No,
Yes,
we're
we
not.
are.
No, we're fine now. I'll let it. We'll let it pass. Yeah.
I'm angry.
But I'm just saying, when you say, I think we should make the death penalty illegal, you're basically saying that the person who knows for a fact who did it, they're never going to get any closure.
Okay, first of all, just to be completely clear, the feelings of the victims' families, I don't give a shit about that. That is not part of how I would distribute justice at all. I would not care about that.
Okay.
Amazing.
Hillary
Anyways,
Clinton.
where was I before you brought this up again, Adam?
I can't help myself. Hi, you just listened to a clip from the Sitch and Adams show. If you like what you heard, you can listen to our live show right here on this channel on Sunday, starting at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And if you want, you can super chat us. We read $20 and up super chats on the show and then do a follow-up stream on the following Tuesday where we read the rest of the unread super chats and interact with fans of the show. Subscribe to this channel right here to listen to the live show or to listen to more of our awesome clips.